Hello and welcome to part 4 of the Supra update. So first of all, as you can see, I've got some new wheels. They are Rotor GTR-D 10J all round. Look a little bit better than the old Fox wheels I had before, which are by the way for sale at the time of recording anyway. Another thing I've done is fitted the clutch pedal, which has been delivered from Japan. So, slight issue now is, well, not an issue, but the next thing to deal with is the brake pedal, which I did consider buying one, which is like £70, and then like 2-week wait from Japan. I think I'm just going to modify this one, or the one from I still have from the Supra. So that should be fairly straightforward. I've also received in the post this steering wheel, which doesn't fit, so that might need to be modified. So someone already modified it, but basically it's all this plastic that needs trimming out, and then it should fit, but that's for some point in future. The other things I've done, so with the clutch pedal, it comes delivered in a box with like 20 odd packs of different fittings, and it's a bit of a task to get it all assembled, but with a bit of thinking and common sense, it's easy enough to put it back together. I have decided to order a different master cylinder. I'm gonna buy the one that actually fits the car, and hope that it fits with the engine. I have spoken to one guy that swapped a Supra with one UZ, and he says there's no fitment issues, so I'm going to trust that. Moving on to the water pump kit and timing belt. So I've received that. So water pump, metal impeller, I'll zoom out, metal impeller, all good. So tensioner, guide, another guide, then crankshaft seal, and don't know why, but there are 4 camshaft seals, water pump gasket, then the thermostat housing neck gasket and a seal there, and obviously belt there. So I have already taken it all off from the engine, and I have cleaned it up as well. It looks slightly cleaner than it did. So this piece, which is this, so basically that's just like that. That was an absolute nightmare to take off. It's all corroded, oxidized, so I need to clean it all up. In all fairness, the old pump is fine. It does seem to be possibly original. It's plastic impeller, but yeah, it looks alright. But there's no gasket. It's all on seal, on sealant, whatever you want to call it. So that's a bit odd. So I don't know if it's ever been replaced. Maybe it's been replaced in Japan. I did see a date stamp which was like, so I think that's a date stamp which doesn't want to focus. So 9611, and the car was 95 and 94. So that's a bit odd. The water pump itself, that came off easily, apart from this pipe, which is also oxidized. And surprisingly, this O-ring doesn't come in the kit, which is odd. I do need to order a new thermostat. This one looks worse for wear, so I'm going to order a new one of those. And old tensioner, which might still be okay. I've ordered 2 new camshaft sensors. These are, well, the wiring is damaged there, and doesn't want to focus, and it's damaged there. Obviously I'll keep them for spares, Another thing that I'll probably order is these rotors, I think they're called. This one's actually cracked. Nothing to do with me dropping it. Honest. And I have had a look on good old eBay, and there's a kit, basically 2 of these caps and one of those 2 of those rotors, something like £90 for 4 items. So I think I'm gonna order that, and yeah, after that I should be able to put the engine back together, put the intake manifold on for last time, hopefully. And I'm still waiting for the sump to get welded. Hopefully I'm going to get that back soon. So that's it on the engine side. Then going back to the wiring, like I mentioned in the last video, I found which wires control the starter motor, so it's like pin 3 of this plug. I have placed here the original 2GZ wiring loom, and I have found that none of them plugs that go into the chassis through that opening there, none of them have the wire for the starter motor. It's actually this plug here, which is also pin 3 possibly. It's basically that pin there, that large pin there. So that is a starter motor control or trigger wire. So I need to find where that goes. I'm pretty sure it goes somewhere in there, but I've not actually had a look yet if there's any sort of plugs there. So I need to lift the car up and basically take the arch liner out and see whether there's any plugs there. So that's pretty much it. It has been pretty slow, really, with waiting for more parts and stuff like that. I think I can put the timing belt back on the car, back on the engine, because the camshaft sensors, so obviously these get taken off after the belt, and I think the belts can be replaced with these housings still on the car. So I can most likely go ahead and put the timing belt on the car and time the engine. So keep saying timing belt on the engine, on the car. I think I can go ahead and put the new timing belt onto the engine and time up the engine and make sure it's all good. One last thing I'm going to show is, so this bullet just comes off fine. Trigger wheel faces that way, so there's a indentation inside, so it goes like that. With the pulley, there are threads in that hole and that hole there, so these 2 holes there's a thread. So what I did, I used this pulley, basically like that. I took the main bolt out and put a different bolt, just a smaller size, and used a bolt and a nut on this hole, and then basically worked it a little bit this way and that way, and the pulley did come out in the end. It was on quite tight. I think it's possibly it's a cone shape, not too sure, but it was quite tricky to get it off, but eventually it came out, so that was good. So I was quite happy that nothing snapped, nothing broke. So yeah, I can't remember if I mentioned the starter motor saga in the last video, but basically I ended up getting a new one just because to get one refurbished was £200, whereas to get a new one was £100, 110. So that's the starter motor thing. So yeah, that's going to be it for this week's update. Not sure how much I can get done in the next week or 2, just because I'm waiting for parts. Actually, one last thing to mention is I did have the clutch checked out, and there was 2 things that came out from that conversation. It's going to be absolutely horrible to drive on the road because it's a triple plate ceramic clutch, And the second thing was that the clutch is in perfect condition and it isn't even bedding. So kind of good news and bad news. There are other kits available, which, if I do find the car to be horrible to drive, I will switch out to another kit. But for now, that's going to be it, really. Got TV up for preparation for looking at diagrams. So just going to connect a laptop to it when the time comes. But yeah, that's going to be it for today's video. Like I mentioned, I'm not sure how much I will be able to get done in the next week or two, just because I'm waiting for parts. But I think once I get everything that I've ordered and everything that I need to order, I will actually be able to put everything together and possibly put the engine in. I'll just have to see how it goes. So anyway, thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.